Good afternoon. Welcome to Midlothian High School's commencement exercises for the class of 2025. Today's commencement is a formal ceremony in which we honor each student for attaining this educational milestone. As such, we ask that you respect the formality of this ceremony. Please silence all electronic devices and remain seated during the ceremony. We ask you to be respectful in applauding your graduate so that guests can hear their student's name being called. Please rise and remain standing when our graduates enter the stage. And as always, go Midlo.
Good afternoon. At this time, I ask that all y'all please remain standing for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance of our country's national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. And oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Welcome, friends, family, staff, and above all, my fellow graduates. My name is Ivan Pang, your proud senior class president. In addition to a couple of my peers, Midlo administrators, and school counselors joining me on stage today, there are a few special guests. To my right are Dr. John Murray, superintendent; the Honorable Lisa Hudgens, school board member for Midlothian District; the Honorable Mark Miller, Board of Supervisors representative for the Midlothian District; the Honorable R. Lee Ware Jr., our 65th District Virginia House of Delegates member; Dr. Lisa Hai, Deputy Superintendent; Dr. Monique Booth, Chief of School; Dr. Sharon Pope, Chief Academic Officer; Dr. Belinda Merriman, Director of High School Leadership. Wow. I want to begin by thanking God, our parents, the faculty, especially Ms. Johnson and Ms. Balin, and everyone who has supported us along this journey. Without their guidance, encouragement, we wouldn't be sitting here today. I especially want to thank my parents in Bahasa Melayu. Saya sayang awak, ibu dan ayah. Terima kasih atas semua yang awak telah lakukan, which means, I love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for all you have done. Also, shout out to Caffeine, Google Docs, ChatGPT, and every classmate who replied, I got you, in a group chat. You kept the dream alive. Let's be real. Most of you probably won't remember this speech tomorrow. You're just sitting through another long graduation talk, waiting for your name to be called. And honestly, I get it. But I stand before you today, class of 2025, to ask you to pause and really listen. Give me a second. The sound of the bell. Why the sound of the bell? You might think it's just another school bell, the same you have listened and heard every day for years. But this one is different. This one is the last bell of our high school journey. After this, there are no more late bells, no more class changes, no more announcement over the intercom. This bell doesn't signal the end of a school day. It marks the end of our chapter in our lives. But more than that, this bell is something we all share. It doesn't sound different for anyone. It rings the same for every student, every teacher, every classroom. And in that way, it reminds us that at our core, we are all the same. We are all human. We all walk the same halls, face the same tests, and hear the same sound signaling when it is time to move on. And now, once that bell rings for the last time, the question becomes, what will make you stand out? Because while we are all stepping from the same starting line, what you do next, your choices, your attitude, your effort, is what will separate you from the rest. As you head into college, the workforce, or wherever life takes you, it is time to think about your brand. And that brand is your name. Everything you do, your attitude, your work ethic, how you treat others, is what you are selling to the world. Your mindset is a product. Your energy is the advertisement. So ask yourself, what does your name say about you? Because from this point forward, you are not representing a school or a class. You are representing yourself. And while you are out there building a future, be true to yourself. In a world full of expectation, trends, and noises, your authenticity is your greatest strength. No matter how far you go or how high you rise, stay humble. And never forget what started it all. Your first love, whether that is family, your faith, your dreams, or your passion. Let it keep you grounded and guide you forward. And as I stand here looking out at all of you, it really hits me. People always say, time flies. But I never really understood that until now. Because suddenly, we are all here together for the one final time. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of a better chapter. The next chapter is full of challenges, but those challenges are not roadblocks. They are opportunities. Opportunities for us to grow, to learn, to become stronger, and discover who you are meant to be. As I close this speech, I want to leave you with this message. Don't challenge your challenges, challenge your limits. Congratulations, class of 2025. And I wish you the very best. And now, a quick selfie. To the podium.
Well, that was outstanding, Ivan. Clear to see why you were chosen to be president of Midlothian High School senior class. So I wish you all the best, but I know your future is incredibly bright. Well, good afternoon, everyone. What a joy it is to be together to collectively share in the excitement of this ceremony, the culmination of 13 years of effort by our graduates throughout their K-12 academic journey. Before I offer remarks, I have the privilege of continuing a tradition in CCPS of awarding 2 superintendent scholarships valued at $1,000 at each graduation this week. These scholarships have been kept confidential until now, so in the surprise. So to the 2 students whose name I call, I will read a little bit about you. You'll receive your medallion, and then when I'm done, I will give you your check. So if you leave too early, you don't get that check, so you would be advised to stay up here. So our first recipient is Carlos Valdez Suarez. And joining Carlos is Tanaj Williams. Carlos is an incredibly hard-working young man who has challenged himself academically this school year, earning impressive grades. He is well liked by his peers and teachers because of his genuine, kind, and caring personality. Despite transferring to Midlo during his sophomore year, Carlos has become ingrained in the Midlo school community, always willing to support others and the school. Carlos, I warned you, buddy. You're not getting the check. He worked our school beautification days, even returning for an extra day to paint the senior courtyard during the summer. Carlos plans to attend Virginia Commonwealth University in the fall. Congratulations, Carlos. Tanaj has completed multiple advanced courses while attending Midlothian, earning multiple college credits. She ranks in the top 10% of her class. Tanaj is the president of the Midlothian Student Council Association. She has put in countless hours planning and decorating for our amazing homecoming dances, the SCA picnic, and more. Tanaj serves on the Principal's Student Advisory Council, where she is incredibly supportive of her peers in the school. I would also add that she serves on my Student Advisory Council, or did. It's tough to see you go, Tanaj. Tanaj plans to attend the College of William and Mary next fall. Congratulations to Tanaj. To our dignitaries, platform guests, and to all of our parents, my colleagues, and special guests who helped to shape and grow this impressive group of graduates assembled before us, it is my pleasure and extreme honor to celebrate the occasion of this day with each of you. Our students are better prepared for life beyond the high school finish line because of your efforts, your dedication, your pushing, pulling, and praying. So we thank the biggest fans of these students seated before us. In the spirit of continuing tradition, I would like to open by honoring all of our current and veteran service members joining us today. If you are serving or have served, please stand to be recognized and appreciated for your service. At this time, I ask that those individuals please remain standing to join me in welcoming into your courageous cadre any soon-to-be graduates who plan to join a service branch after high school. Will those students please stand? Indeed, you are all a special group of self-sacrificing patriots to whom we are deeply grateful. Thank you. You may be seated. Students, I would like to offer you some advice as you move from the expectation, or excuse me, as you move from this moment into the expectations of adulthood. It's a magical place filled with bills and taxes, but also a land where seat time and advisory periods can no longer rescue you from missed days or assignments. A place that expects responsibility and accountability of others, yet desires compassion and consideration for the individual. And I can tell you that there is no group more prepared to face those challenges than graduates of Midlothian High School. Today, I would like to focus my message on seeking fulfillment, as fulfillment is what will bring you happiness, contentment, and a determined purpose. In my opinion, fulfillment is achieved when you find yourself at the intersection of your life's desire and your life's reality. If I'm to fully subscribe to that opinion, then you all have been great contributors to the educators in this room of our own sense of fulfillment, as our life's desire to work alongside and encourage young people to outgrow their potential and realize new heights has become our life's reality. So for your part in that, we want to not only thank you, but to encourage each of you to go and do likewise. Find what fulfills you, what you are passionate about, what no one else can do quite as well as you can, and then dive in and create a ripple that will long outlast your lifetime. I've often talked with students about living life with their legacy in mind, and fulfillment in life is an investment in your own legacy, because the inspiration from how you live also helps direct the next steps of those whom you impact and influence along your journey. So as you move forward in life, always find time to reach back and help someone else along. A story from my early years as a teacher often reminds me of this point and grounds me in my desire to make each interaction count and in living a fulfilled life. It was February when my principal moved a student into my 7th grade history class who was returning from a lengthy suspension. I had my work cut out for me. My students were working on Black history projects and had been asked to pick an individual from a prescribed list to avoid a bunch of similar presentations. MC, as I will refer to him, was not satisfied with any of the remaining selections and told me he wanted to report on the late rapper Tupac because he too wanted to pursue rapping and a career in music. So I had a choice: dig in my heels or build a bridge to connect with him. So I told him I'd allow it, but on one condition, which was that I too was going to do a report on Tupac, and the class would decide whose was better. Loser had to buy lunch. We shook on it. The following week, it was showtime. I went first, and I crushed it. That was so good. That was so good. The other students were telling MC, just take the loss and sit down, but he refused. And he stepped in front of the class, and without any presentation visuals or note cards to assist, for the next 4 minutes, he rapped the life story of Tupac. And I've never been more thrilled to lose a bet than I was that day as MC's classmates gave a ruckus ovation for his performance. But from there, our rapport only deepened with one another. Fast forward a year, I sat in the back of a cold church in Gilpin Court for the funeral service of MC's mother, lost at 32 years old. I handed his grandmother, now a mother of 4 all over again, my phone number in the event I could ever help in any way. A few months later, my phone rang and his grandmother informed me that he had begun the initiation phase to join a gang. So he and I met up and talked about it. And as I drove away reflecting on that conversation, it hit me that he didn't necessarily want to join a gang. He wanted to belong and feel cared about the way his mother had provided. He needed to be reminded of his purpose and in seeking true fulfillment. So when MC and I met up again, I reminded him of that day in my history class when he rapped his report. We talked about Tupac's tribute song, Dear Mama, and I asked that as Mother's Day approached, he take time to write some new verses from the perspective of his own mother and what she would want for him. The following week, he shared his verses with me, and none of what he wrote mentioned gangs or crime. Rather, verse after verse was rooted in the hope that he would follow his dreams and use his adversities and his struggles as a hammer to break through his barriers and not as an excuse to head down a crooked path. MC is now a 33-year-old, once upon a time almost gang member, and a successful musician out of New York, having released a few albums because he chased fulfillment. And since that day, 18 years ago, he still calls me, but only one time each year, Mother's Day. And each time we hang up, just as with the other day, the first thing I always think is that there cannot be too many other middle-aged white guys from the suburbs who catch a call from a rapper in the Bronx on Mother's Day. Because, students, the reality is that race and creed and economic status, even past experiences and choices, they only limit our ability to create lasting relationships with others if we choose them to. The human spirit craves a connection that is far beneath our surface, and if we choose care and compassion and always seek to preserve the dignity in others, things we should give willingly and freely, we will create deep, meaningful interactions that will positively impact the lives of those around us and thereby transform our society. Students, as you move through life, remember this. If you give your true and complete self to whatever it is you do, intrinsically, it will give you back so much more in return. I will always look forward to Mother's Day and my phone call from MC. But you see, while my efforts were targeted to shifting his trajectory away from seeking belonging in the wrong place, he also shifted mine, implicitly encouraging and inspiring me to continue being my best self and to always do what is right. And this may mean at times forgoing what is easiest or least resistant. So graduates, in closing, I charge you to do good. Do good in the world. Be kind and care about others the way the people in this room have done so to you. And once you've conquered your own mountains, set your anchor in deeply to support the climbs of others toward their pursuit of their own lofty goals. So as you write the final words of this chapter, we are glad to have been a part of your journey. So go big and go bold, but to my friends who struggled to pass high school chemistry, know that you are in the best of company and that you too can one day become superintendent of one of the largest school districts in this great country. Congratulations.
And now, it is my pleasure to introduce our Midlothian School Board Representative, the Honorable Lisa Hudgens. Thank you.
On behalf of the Chesterfield County School Board, I would like to say congratulations, class of 2025. You did it. Woo! Okay, so there's a chance you may have had some help from your parents and your family, teachers, administration, even some of your friends, right? So before we go further, let's give them a round of applause. But we know y'all did it. Congrats. So before I go any further, I'd like to say that this particular graduating class holds a special place in my heart. I was a high school teacher for almost a decade, and in my final 3 years, I taught at Midlow. So you are the last group of students who were in the building when I taught. So even though I didn't teach you, I don't think I've taught any person in this room, even though I didn't teach you, I might have taught a sibling or even seen you around the halls or at lunch. I did do lunch duty, still scarred. Or at pep rallies. Those pep rallies, my gosh, are they still crazy? Insane. I thought the bleachers were coming down. Anyway, Midlow has a very special vibe. You are sweet, and you are smart, and you are loud. You are fun, vibrant, creative. And standing right here in front of you is an incredible honor, and you will always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you. So, not the end, friends. So that is why the top of my head comes off when I hear adults shake their heads and say, kids these days, what is the world coming to? And I think to myself, do you even know any kids? They're actually really great. So here's a newsflash for you. That sentiment is not new. Adults have been saying that about kids for generations, a lot of generations. Here's one of my favorite quotes. When I ran across this, I thought, you have got to be kidding me. Let me see if you can guess who it was. The children now live in luxury. They have bad manners and contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders, and they love to chatter instead of exercising. They contradict their parents, they gobble up dainties at the table, and they tyrannize their teachers. All right, who do you think? Anybody? That was Socrates. Socrates, 2,500 years ago. Yeah, they've been saying it a long time. So it never changes. I think it's because often people see kids, or excuse me, young adults, as an aggregate. They see you as a whole group. But I see you as individuals. These people on the sides and in the stands, they see you as individuals. We know what you've already accomplished. We know what you're going to accomplish in the future. Some of you might still think of yourselves as kids. Others of you, as we all know, have not been a kid since the 3rd grade. You know those little children that are like adults. It's wild. Either way, tomorrow is going to be weird for you. You have heard the last bell. That was amazing. That was weird. Didn't think of that. You've asked for your last hall pass. That's awesome. Sounds great, right? It is, until you realize that now it's up to you. Now you hold the reins to your destiny. That can get a little scary. You will write your destiny. Whether it's done actively or passively, you'll write it. So with that in mind, I've got a couple of little tidbits for you. First one, be authentic. Who you are is who you are. Don't try to be someone else. Don't wish you were someone else. It'll get you into situations where instead of belonging, you're only fitting in. Brené Brown found that those were opposites. The opposite of belonging is fitting in. For me, no matter how much I wish it were true, or I try to make it true, I will never be a quiet, regal princess. Nope. I am loud, and I get excited, and I interrupt. I am working on interrupting. I am working on it, not doing great. But anyway, once I realized who I am, and I embraced it, I could stop worrying what other people thought about me, acknowledge I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's when everything changed.
Once you accept yourself and you realize, all right, this is who I am, you're not trying to be somebody else, you realize who you already are somebody. That's when your authenticity will shine out of you. Suddenly, you stop worrying about yourself and what people are thinking about you, and you shift your focus from the inside to the outside. Think about it. If I'm worried about me and what you're thinking about me, I am not worried about how you're feeling. I'm not going to reach out to you. This is important. Once you start truly paying attention to other people, you start thinking of them, considering them, and helping them, your focus falls off of yourself. And that's liberating and also extremely healthy. All right, side note, there is a difference between being authentic and being a jerk. Being a jerk is a growth opportunity. And that leads me to the next little bit. Never stop growing. Lou Holtz, famous football coach, said, "In this world, you are either growing or you're dying." Okay, that's harsh. I got bad news for you. You cannot grow and stay comfortable. Growth requires honestly looking at yourself and being willing to change. It requires stretching outside of your comfort zone. Have you noticed? This is not fair, but true. Most of your opportunities lie outside of your comfort zone. Eleanor Roosevelt says something that I used to tell my students. Do something that scares you. Now keep in mind, doing something when you're afraid or nervous is not weak. It's courageous. You don't need courage if you're not afraid. And then finally, be kind. I know we hear this a lot, often from people who could listen to it themselves. But let's really think that was not kind, sorry. Think about it for a second. You know you're going through stuff right now. Maybe your shoes, while adorable, are a little tight. Maybe you forgot to eat and you're hungry. Maybe your grandmother is sick and couldn't be here today, and you're sad about that. Now look around you. Every single person in this building is also going through stuff. And that is always true. Everyone around you is always going through stuff. So consider this. What people say about you and how they act to you says more about them and what they're going through than it does about you. Do not take it personally. Keep that in mind and be kind to people, and this is hard, even when they may not deserve it. You never know how your act of grace might impact them. So I want to close with something I've been thinking about. It's a little proverb, and it says, "The hand that gives forgets, but the heart that receives remembers." So the hand that gives forgets, receives, remembers. So taught at Midlow, last gig, walk in the door, it was summertime. I think we had a class on Schoology. So this is all the teachers that I had never met, had no idea, didn't know anybody. And I walk in, and we're in this classroom. It's crowded. I'm sure the AC was not working. Shock. Fan was blowing, and I looked around, and I was like, there is literally nowhere to sit. And I don't know these people, and this is awkward, and I'm uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, I looked up, and I saw, I think it looked like a little seat, but I don't know, were they saving it for somebody? But then these two women looked at me and they kind of gestured over and they said, "Come on, sit here." And then I looked and I was like, oh, that's amazing. All of a sudden I felt welcomed, I felt included. And that was my friend Elizabeth Bowes and Emily Fund. And that act of inclusion warmed me and warmed my heart and helped me and was amazing, but I'll bet you they don't remember that. But I will never forget that. That mattered so much to me. So shout out, ladies. That was awesome. Love you. So again, the hand that gives forgets. The heart that receives remembers. Be the hand that gives. Thank you.
And now, it is my pleasure to introduce our Midlothian School Board representative, the Honorable Mark Miller.
It says school board. It does. The school board member. It's all good. Okay, full disclosure. Lisa Hudgens is your school board member. I'm your Board of Supervisor, Mark Miller. Hey, Midlo. I'm hoping that you'll permit me for this speech to imagine for a moment that you're reading a letter from me. You are perhaps sitting underneath a tree or anywhere else you could settle. Settle in and read a letter without distraction, whatever works for you. And I want you to imagine that it's May 2035. Dear 2025 graduate, now I know it's 2035, shoot. Folks weren't even writing letters in 2025, let alone 2035. I know. Just cut me some slack. I graduated high school in 1982 BC. You know, BC, before cell phones. Just hang in there with me. I promise I'm going somewhere. So anyway, you're sitting underneath a tree and you just received an email from me or a DM or some way that you can imagine that it's 10 years from now. It's 10 years since you graduated from high school. So let's try this again. Dear 2025 graduate, I hope you're doing well. If you remember me, at the time I had the distinct privilege to be serving as your Midlothian supervisor on the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors. At that time, 10 years ago, I congratulated you for arriving at the milestone of graduating and being a high school graduate. I remember at the time of delivering my speech back then, hoping that you felt the pride for what you had accomplished. My 4 other Board of Supervisors were also very, very proud of you. After all, not everyone graduates from high school. Not everyone has a high school diploma. When I delivered your speech 10 years ago, I quoted the poet T.S. Eliot. He's the one that wrote the lines, what we call the beginning is often the end. And to make an end is to make a beginning. The end, that's where you start. So I'm curious, as you look back over the last 10 years, how has it been for you? When you graduated, what was it the beginning of? How are you doing in 2035? Do you feel like you're on the right track? If so, how did that happen? If you feel like you're on the wrong track, then how did that happen? Just remember that it really isn't choosing between right or wrong. It's more complicated than that. It's usually both happening at the same time. Sometimes things are going well, sometimes things just aren't. You know, perfection doesn't exist. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is. We're just all doing our work. I suspect you're doing the best you can, and what I have learned is that it's all about vision. do you have a vision for where you are trying to get to? If so, keep on trucking. That's a phrase that came out in 1968 BC. Just for the record, I was 4 years old. Keep on trucking does not mean hop in a truck and drive away. It means stay the course. Keep to your vision and don't give up. And if you're not on the right track, then it's time to do some deep soul searching. What's working? What's not working? But find someone you trust and talk to them. I will tell you a secret. The miracle is in the talking. Also, think about graduation 10 years ago. I'm wondering if you think much about your teachers you had in high school. How much they helped you, how much they supported you, your dreams, and how they gave their heart to help lay the groundwork for those dreams. You know, sometimes what they did back then seems so subtle. You may not have noticed at the time how they listened and how they cracked silly jokes just to make a point, and how they respected you and what you're capable of. Teachers and staff, they are so amazing, aren't they? They give their hearts and soul for the next generation. We are so lucky to have them. How's your family and friends doing? I'm hoping that they're doing well. I remember talking to your parents and grandparents and caregivers and guardians, friends, and those important to you, and how proud they were on the day that you graduated. So much promise and ready to take on the world. I am so hoping that you are acting boldly, taking chances, and accomplishing your dreams. I remember mentioning the importance of taking one day at a time, knowing that you are so deeply loved, and hoping that you are blossoming and living a life that you were meant and born to live. You know, we need you. My generation isn't doing so great. So many unknowns back then on the day of your graduation. I'm really hoping that you're figuring out a better way to take care of our world. I'm really hoping that you figured out how to do this newly discovered thing back then called AI. I thought I'd take a moment and share with you something that I learned recently when I was 60 years old. It still resonates with me all the way now that I'm 70. It took me a little while to figure this out. It's a quote from George Bernard Shaw, and it really impacted me, and I'm really hoping that it speaks to you. I have to tell you, it is brutally honest, but I see it as a call to action, a realization that I need to be paying attention to how important it is to live life meaningfully. You ready? Here it goes. This is the true joy in life, being used for the purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. He goes on to say, I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It's sort of a splendid torch, which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. You are the future generation. Burn brightly. Don't let fear rule you, and don't let others tell you who you are. And don't let others tell you what you are. And if you don't know, then remember the secret. Remember the secret that I told you. Do you remember? Find someone you trust and tell them what's up with you. The miracle is in the talking. Wishing you only the best, and thank you for reading this letter. I believed in you 10 years ago, and you know what? 10 years later, I still believe in you. Your nostalgic Midlothian supervisor, Mark Miller.
I'm now excited to introduce our Just for Show choir, who, under the direction of Mr. Finn, will perform a farewell. Please join me in welcoming our class salutatorians, Cole Kafal and Mason Captain.
Thank you, Ivan. And we would both also like to thank our parents, Lena and Lucas, grandparents, friends, and the teachers and coaches who have assisted us along the way. Cole and I are best friends, and since we had the opportunity to give a joint speech today, we thought it fitting to highlight the importance of good friendships. There is a saying that goes, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." That means that the people you associate yourself with significantly influence your potential for success in life. Additionally, you must provide support for those around you in order to build strong, productive bonds. Over our last 4 years at Midlow, we witnessed these friendships firsthand, whether it was in the performing arts, on the sports fields, or in the yo-yo and book clubs. The foundations that friendships created were vital to the success of every single one of us.
Many of you saw Jay Thompson playing for our incredible Medford team this year, and he was even able to score a few baskets. Off the court, though, Jay is one of the most kind-hearted young men, even if the words he says can't always be understood. I had the pleasure of meeting Jay in Unified PE and Champions Club, especially last year, and it was incredible to see the growth he made during our time at Midlow. He was very shy at first and preferred looking at himself in the mirror to participating in class. He wanted nothing to do with me when I first met him in the gym, but eventually, as he became more and more comfortable, he was willing to listen and participate much more. His comfort and friendship became very apparent to me the first time he surprised me with a hug and showed me his writing, something that is personal to him and contains his truest thoughts and feelings. Jay showed me the true power of friendship and the importance of finding others that can be counted on.
My entire life, I have been a financial saver. I was always the kid who mowed the neighbor's grass, watched their dogs while they were out of town, or found some other small job to put a little more money into savings. Though recently something has shifted. I've been watching my bank account slowly dwindle as I've started to drive and take myself places. It's not the gas money that's getting me though, it's the money spent on food. As I've been able to drive myself around, it's become a series of, let's get food after practice, or we've got time between games to grab a bite to eat, or some of the guys are going to Moe's, do you want to come? I usually say yes, not because of the food, but because of the people that were going to be there and the great time I knew I would have with great people. It didn't matter what we talked about, school, sports, or nothing at all. What mattered was who we were talking about it with. Finding the right people in your life is not only helpful in having a good time, but it allows for you to motivate each other to succeed and prosper. If you surround yourself with people that have like-minded goals and aspirations, you yourself will be more motivated to succeed alongside them and grow together. If your friends are pursuing ambitious dreams, it is likely that you will follow them towards a thriving future. Friendships push people to be the best they can be and therefore are vital to each and every one of us.
As a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan and baseball player myself, I always did my elementary school projects on one of the greatest Pirates, Roberto Clemente. Not only was Clemente an extraordinary baseball player, but one of the kindest men and supportive friends to play the game. He came from very humble beginnings in Puerto Rico, hitting bottle caps with broomsticks to perfect his craft. Once he made it to the majors, he faced severe racism in every obstacle you could imagine, but still found a way to be there for the people who mattered most to him. Clemente became one of the best baseball players of his time, and he found it in his heart to always donate money and time back to his home in Puerto Rico and local Pittsburgh charities. He constantly gave back and volunteered to help with those with similar circumstances as him. Sadly, his career was cut short due to a plane crash on New Year's Eve while he was on his way to give supplies to earthquake victims in the Caribbean. He passed away helping others, underlining how he was always there for his closest friends and his whole community.
Class of 2025, look around you. The people on this floor today are the future and the ones that will go out and shape the world around us. We will become the engineers, the business owners, the house builders, the sergeants, the teachers, the doctors, and so much more. But more importantly, we will become the best friends, the mothers, the fathers, the neighbors, and the mentors that support and guide one another to becoming good, kind people.
We must be there for one another, like Roberto Clemente was there for both his closest friends and his whole community. We must connect with people who will be there for us in times of need and everyday life, like Mason did with his food outings. And last but not least, we must find comfort and camaraderie with our closest friends, just like Jay. If we value those around us and work for our closest friendships, we will go out and make the world a better place. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming our class valedictorian, Eva Chanel.
Good afternoon, esteemed guests, friends, family, and of course, the class of 2025. I'm so honored and excited to stand before you all today to share what I have learned from these past 4 years. However, I want to start by thanking those who helped make this possible for me. First, to my mentors, teachers, and some Midlothian high school faculty, you all have been crucial in guiding me through this process, turning me not only into a better student, but a better thinker and a better learner. To my friends, thank you for always supporting me and encouraging me, dragging me anywhere and everywhere when I needed a break from the assignments and essays. And last but definitely not least, to my parents, Mom and Dad. You both have taught me what it means to persevere, to live authentically, to stay true to myself, and always advocate boldly for what I believe in. You provided me the opportunity to grow and stumble more than a few times, but you always were standing ready at the sidelines when I needed help. I appreciate all that you've done for me and supporting me through this journey, especially funding all of my Starbucks trips. That was really important. It was actually my dad that first introduced me to The Little Prince, a famous children's book written by aviator and French author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I'm willing to bet some of you have read it or studied it already, but if you're unfamiliar, here's the gist. A pilot who crash-landed in the desert retells stories a peculiar prince shared with him while repairing his plane. This prince, seemingly young and naive, tells of life lessons many don't come to understand until they're much older. Lessons of love, loss, greed, friendship, and more. The pilot opens the book by recounting a memory from his childhood when he drew a snake that swallowed an elephant. Odd, I know, and definitely unlikely, but when he showed it to adults, all they could see was the outline of a leather hat. Why was it that the children could see what grown-ups couldn't? Because, according to the pilot, all grown-ups were once children, but only a few of them remember it. We consistently look towards the future despite knowing it's inherently forever out of reach. I'm at fault of this myself. So, as we turn 18 or already have, enter the workforce, attend a university, or join the military, let's not forget the child we've grown up with. Don't fall into the trap of repetition. Live in the present, find beauty in the moments you are actively experiencing. Remember the childlike innocence and wonder that powered the imagination that has brought all of us this far. Let's not lose the spontaneity that drives us to find surprising places or make new relationships. Find the elephant and the snake where some only see a simple leather hat. And in doing so, I implore you to navigate this adult world authentically and honestly. The Little Prince once told the pilot, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." In both these past 4 years, in my lived experience, albeit short, I've learned that empathy, compassion, and positivity have ripple effects in those around you. Whether it's a smile, a random compliment, or a wave to a stranger, your goodness inspires goodness. Navigating this world, not by what you see, but by what you feel, will lead to connections that will undeniably become some of the most important, some of the strongest. Don't settle for the highest paying job. Find the next unforgettable experience or once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Judge by actions and choices, not by looks. Lead with your heart. Now, I don't mean to stand up here, an 18-year-old girl who's learned life lessons, mostly come through the random Instagram reel from my mom, but I can confidently say this. You all standing here today is proof that you have the capability to accomplish something great. Despite being stranded in the desert, dehydrated, and near death, the little prince simply told the pilot, "What makes the desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well. Somewhere within all of you is your well. It's the same well that helped you get through late nights, early mornings, games, competitions. It's the well that will fuel your drive, your desire to keep growing, keep learning, keep experiencing the ever-changing world we're entering in a few short hours. Maybe you've already found your well. Maybe you're yet to find it. You might have to build it or stumble across one in 5 or 10 years. That's okay, because as of today, all of you have proven your potential to keep going in the face of challenges and obstacles. You all have made me proud to say I confidently graduated with the Midlothian High School class of 2025. Thank you.
And now, to introduce our top 10 students, please join me in welcoming our assistant principal, Mr. Legao.
Each year, Midlothian High School honors the top 10 graduates based on their grade point average. We honor these students for their academic accomplishments. The following students were previously recognized and received their medal at our senior scholarship ceremony. We ask that each of you stand and remain standing when your name is called to be recognized for your impressive accomplishment. Number 10, Muhammad Aziz Umar Zakov. In the fall, Muhammad plans to attend Brown University, where he plans in neuroscience. Number 9, Ani Chervinska. In the fall, Ani plans to attend the University of Virginia, where she plans to major in public policy pre-law. Number 8, Isaac Bradbury. In the fall, Isaac plans to attend North Carolina State University, where he plans to major in pre-med. Number 7, Emerson Fitzgerald. In the fall, Emerson plans to attend the University of Virginia, where she plans to major in exercise and health science. Number 6, Sienna Rosenberg. In the fall, Sienna plans to attend the University of South Carolina, where she plans to major in computer science. Number 5. In the fall, Jordan plans to attend the University of Virginia, where she plans to major in biochemistry. Number 4, Emily Vaughn. In the fall, Emily plans to attend the University of Richmond, and her major is undecided at this time. Our salutatorians for the class of 2025 are Cole Kafal and Mason Captain. Cole plans to attend Princeton University next fall and Mason plans to attend University of Virginia in the fall. Cole plans to major in civil engineering, and Mason plans to major in finance and accounting. Our valedictorian for the class of 2025 is Eva Chenault. Eva plans to attend Virginia Tech, where she plans to major in computer engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 10 graduates. Thank you and congratulations to our top 10 graduates. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Abel to the podium.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Legal, and congratulations to our top 10 students. Your relentless dedication and your effort throughout your school years have led you to these impressive achievements. Well done. On behalf of the entire Midlothian High School faculty and staff, I extend a warm welcome and heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2025. As always, you've already received meaningful words of wisdom from our county leaders and 3 of your peers. Well, technically, we've got the duet here of the salutatorian, so I guess 4 of your peers. So I always have that tough act to follow if you've been sitting here and I can watch you on the screen up there sometimes and get completely entertained by some of the playing with your stuff. 6 speeches, and so I'm 7th here. So I'm definitely going to keep it brief, but I do feel like I have to acknowledge some folks and then just share some very brief remarks. Dr. Murray, thank you for your unwavering support and personalized leadership as the 4th largest school division in the state of Virginia. Your presence at Midlo, celebrating our students and supporting our staff, has not gone unnoticed. We were thrilled when you accepted the responsibility to lead our school division, and your continued engagement means the world to us, so thank you. And to Ms. Hudgens and Dr. Miller, thank you for the decisions you make and the care for which you make them. I know it's difficult at times. Ms. Hudgens, your frequent presence at our events and your outreach to support our faculty and students shows your genuine commitment to our community. And Dr. Miller, your collaboration on projects with us and your support deeply matters. Thank you all. And now to Midlo's finest, to your left, to your right, and some of them are out there working security. They are educators, they're mentors, they're cheerleaders, sometimes counselors, and to be quite frank, often all at once. They respond to your Canvas messages and emails at all hours and meet each of you where you are, helping you to become who you're meant to be students. Thank you, Midlo's finest, for your passion, your commitment, and your heart. You're the best. And to our parents and guardians, I know it's been mentioned a couple times, but I cannot leave it out. Midlo's community of excellence doesn't exist without each of you. You've been drivers, volunteers, advocates, accountability partners, and emotional lifelines. Whether through a quiet conversation, a motivational pep talk, a drop-off, a pickup, or a reassuring hug, you've been there every step of the way, and your support made this moment possible for your student and for our school. So thank you to all the parents and guardians. And now to the students. So I'm going to ask you first, before I share these very short remarks, if I've heard it mentioned multiple times, overcoming challenges, and that's a little bit of my focus here for 2 more minutes. Indulge me. If you have ever had to face a challenge and try to overcome it, can you do me a favor and stand up for a second? If you've ever faced a challenge and had to overcome it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're up to about 470 or so. Guys, I did that for 2 reasons. 1, you look like you needed a brain break. So I wanted to just get you up and get the blood flowing before we get this game started. So you can have a seat. And now I'm going to share why I also had you stand up. A few weeks ago, I was watching ABC World News Tonight, and I saw a segment that made me think about Midlo and what I may want to share with you at graduation. By the way, if you don't know this, I know you have to believe it. I am constantly thinking of Midlo everywhere I go. collecting ideas on things we can implement at our school, improving Midlo, and anything else related to our school. I actually feel bad for my wife to a degree because I often turn to her and I say, oh my gosh, that reminds me of Midlo. We could do that at Midlo. And sometimes, I gotta be honest, I don't think she appreciates the Go Midlo passion as much as the parents out there, because she has never once come up to me the way parents do and go, hey, you're the Go Midlo guy. But she indulges me, and for lack of a better word, she puts up with me. So back to the world news story. It was about a young lady named Natalie Gilbert. The name might not be familiar, but some of you may recall her story. Does the name ring a bell to anyone, Natalie Gilbert? Trying to see if I see a hand. No? Hopefully maybe this story will. In 2003, at age 13, Natalie was selected to sing the national anthem at an NBA game hosted by the Portland Trail Blazers. Partway through the anthem, she forgot the lyrics. Understandably, she froze. That's when Coach Maurice Cheeks came over, put his arm around her, and sang with her. The crowd then joined in. It became a viral moment, one of compassion, support, and unity. But even more inspiring, Natalie returned to that same court 22 years later and sang the anthem again, this time flawlessly. And for Coach Cheeks, he was right there in the front row. So what lessons can we take from this? Guys, be courageous. Step into moments that scare you, like singing in front of 15,000 people, or maybe walking across the stage in front of 4,000 plus people. Take the next step into adulthood. That's one risk. Don't fear failure. It's not the fall that defines you, it's what you do next. Every great story includes a setback. If you think about that, you go to the movies, you read a book, it starts off here, has a little happy moment, a setback, and then hopefully the feel-good moment. Support others. Be the Coach Cheeks in someone else's life. You may help them find their voice when they've lost it. And last but not least, keep going. Learn from the tough moments and keep showing up. One day, like Natalie, you may get the chance to try again and hopefully triumph. Class of 2025, be courageous, be kind, take chances, and learn from your mistakes. Support one another. I believe in each and every one of you. You are ready, not just for the next chapter, but to lead it. And if you want to join me when you hear what I'm about to say and you know what's coming next, feel free. Thank you for everything. And as always, go Midlo! All right, got some parents out there, a couple students. All right, so the moment we've been waiting for. I now invite our school counselor, Laura Brady, to begin the roll call for the class of 2025. Let's go.
Ava Elizabeth Aaron. Soccer Ramzi Abdulaziz. Caden Kennedy Addison. Ryan Christopher Ahart. Mackenzie Callista Aird. Zachary Elijah Eisenberg. Lana Mon Al Abdullah. Ryan Bashir Al-Assad. Ahmed Noor Al-Dogaish. Brady Thomas Alexander. Carson Reese Allen. Paige Elizabeth Alley. Ella Taylor Andes. Fidel Alejandro Andino Mena. Fernando Lee Andrews III. Alexandra Joy Anonik. Mansoor Anwari. Charles Herbert Archer Jr. Josiah Kofi Atabra. Aiden Patrick Ayers. Lillian Grace Osborne. Luca Aston Back. Kaysen Hilton Baldridge. Nicole Rose Bartholomew. Haley Elizabeth Baskerville. William Tyler Bays. Benjamin Hubbard Donald Belton. Sophia Benhashlarbi. Bryce Gabriel Talavera Benito. James David Bennett. Adam Zechariah Berg. Ayush Batari. Charlotte Perry Blackburn. Brandon Nicholas Bond. Ava Elizabeth Bonser. Hayden Ryan Bonser. Thomas Christopher Buber. Taylor Renee Bochelle. Griffin Xavier Boucher. Alexander Saleh Bradbury. Isaac Sidney Bradbury. Ava Kathleen Brandenburg. Avery Sophia Brockbank. Hannah Leanne Brooks. Jonathan Maurice Brooks. Caleb Edward Brown. Jaden Amir Brown. London Mackenzie Brown. Jazz Bruner. Addison Fender Bryant. Amaya McKenna Bryant. Jackson Bryant. Emmeline Bukager. Chase Stephen Burton. Autumn Lynn Busby. Colson William Caffel. Nicholas Peter Calandro. Nathan Alexander Campbell. William Mason Captain. Susanna Marie Carr. Casey Lee Cottle. Siddhi Srinivas Chikati. Eva Amelia Chenault. Ani Yordanova Chervenska. Adnan Sirkik. Cameron Scott Coates. Troy Joseph Colbert. Ty Dion Collins. Jacob Robert Comer. Haley Mariah Connor. Jacob Shane Conway. Jerry Anthony Cooper Jr. Jack Everhard Corzini. Joshua Robert Cox. Victor Franco Cox. Connor Tinsley Craig. Emily Grace Crane. Will Kramer. Quentin Ibalo Krantz. Kate Daniel Creighton. Madeline Ann Crenshaw. Charlotte Ann Cunningham. Michaela Rebecca Cutro. Sasha Elena Demevsky. Charlotte May Daniels. Isabella Loren Davis. Jolene Michelle Davis. Landon Parker Davis. Megan Ann Davis. Sydney Kessler Davis. Mohammed Daywood. Adam Mark DeBruyker. Lauren Alyssa DeGonia. Nicholas Augustus De La Compagni. Ava Elizabeth Di Stefano. Irich Samvid Devashre. Declan Thomas Deal. Cameron Edward Lee Dilligard. Emily Grace Dillingham. Gavin Matthias Miguel Dobbs. Annabelle Kaylin Dodge. Donovan Joseph Dalla. Gabrielle Marie Dubois. Clifford Franklin Duchesne. Mason Ryder Dunlap. Eleni Mattia Easter. Jonah Bradley Elliott. Ava Marie Ellsworth. Sarah Elmy. Joshua Daniel English. Casey McLean Irio. Keelan Blythe Esslinger. Madeline Kate Esslinger. William Stefano Evangelista. Aaron Nicole Fickey. Robert Joseph Philippone. Matthew Carl Philgrove. Emerson Kate Fitzgerald. Tanner Eason Fleck. James Stockton Fleming. Declan Thomas Flood. Grayson Flournoy. Lashana Fopatine Camden. Andrew Joseph Ford. Ethan Daniel Foster. Hannah Grace Foster. Logan Nicholas Foster. Ryan Lee Foster. Aaron Junke Fulmer. Deshaun Jerome Fowler. Christina Marie Franklin. Bria Miley Freeman. Abigail Grace Fretz. Ella Catherine Fretz. Madeline Jane Fretz. Henry Parker Fry. Joseph Hall Galloway. Layla Marie Garcia. Leanna Jules Garcia. Nathan Ethan Garza. Marley Ryan Gaskell. Skylar Ann Gates. Samuel Peter Gavin. Sona Benoit George. Sabrina Isabel Gernhardt. Camila Gonzalez. Cruz Alejandro Gonzalez. Avery Nicole Goodman. Catherine Gail Goodrich. Kaylee Marie Gauze. Aaliyah Araya Gordon. Seth Connor Gorman. Elise Marie Graves. Madison Nicole Gray. Tanaya Sierra Gray. Hannah K. Green. Addison Givens Gregg. Khaled Lloyd Gregory. Jerome Elliott Guadagnoli. Anaya Denise Elizabeth Gustus. Anvita Shrigutha. Ava Nicole Gwaltney. Abby Elizabeth G. Bassick. Nevaeh Tiffany Lynn Hairston. Mallory Ann Hamilton. Brandon Klein Hansen. Taylor Michelle Harding. Adam Lamar Harrell Jr. Gabrielle Rose Harris. Grayson Oleski Hartman. Brenna Marie Harvey. Madeline Lily Harvey. Emma Grace Hasmer. Owen Mark Heaton. Barbara Suzanne Henderson. Andrea Celeste Hernandez Sanchez. Jacob Paul Hicks. Ella Sky Heidinger Wood. Riley Elizabeth Hindling. Kanami Hiramatsu. Jacob Stephen Hobaugh. Xavier Trayvon Holt. Francis Lee Homiller. Kaylani Amari Honablu. Lila Caroline Honeycutt. Cohen King Honrado. India Ariel Hopkins Wolfick. Sarah Hill Hopper. Gabriella Grace Horoshak. Jameson Sixiang Wong. Riley Ann Hulver. Isabella Ann Hutton. William Harold Herschel Jackson. Kasim Zachariah John. Caleb John Janey. Kavar Elijah Jasper. Kyrie DeMarco Jeffers. Alania Nicole Jefferson. Franz Eric Jens IV. Nick Wayne Jiang. Chase Nicholas Johnson. Keith Jermaine Johnson, Jr. Maddox Alexander Johnson. Madison Claire Johnson. Reese Caroline Johnson. Aiden Moray Jones. Gabrielle Christina Jones. Trayson Joseph Jones. Jackson Delaney Jordan. Abigail Elizabeth Jordy. Cameron Paige Casarda. Sydney Claire Kaufman. Kai Sangal Kivas. Hannah Marie Kiersey. Jameson Scott Kelly. Carter Ryland King. Parker Elizabeth Kinton. Paul James Kipps. And John Andrew Kleski IV. Ariana Jeray Kiles. Tiffany Catherine Lamb. Evan Lane. Andrew Joseph LaRose. Senna Lee LaRose. Jay Lavender. Colin Doyle Leahy. Ava Nicole Lee. Agat Fudang Lake. Noah Stephen Leibowitz. Avion Vinare Lem. Jack Delaney Lipster. Sarah Margaret Hazeltine Lasowski. Charles Early Lineweaver. Cheyenne LaDeja Mariah Livingston. Addison Purdue Lloyd. Riley Xavier Lorenz. Luc Gaspard Louis. Charlotte Ann Lowry. Faith Tan Lucero. Victor Matthew McLaughlin. Georgia Maeve Makeumson. Fatima Saif Makshar. Riley Parker Malone. Philip Svitanov Manoff. Corinne Rose Marsh. Bradford Alexander Marshall. Jada Kimon Marshall. Joshua Alexander Martinez. Brittany Barron Massey. Dylan Alexander Mosey. Allison Claire Maines. Mason Edward Maines. Bennett Michael McCandless. Connor Thomas McCarthy. Jordan Elise McClinton. Emily Ann McCraney. Sophia Loren McIntyre. Ian Andrew McKeever. Reagan Elizabeth McKenna. Matthew Fotios Mellis. Gabriella Serena Melita. Jack Lawrence Miko. George Evan Miller. Lauren Celeste Miller. Samantha Nicole Miller. Caden Noel Miranovich. Emmanuel Montes Arboleda. Kenley Ann Montgomery. Maluki Luke Montgomery. Kelia Shanae Lachelle Moore. Rashad Omar Ray Moore. Mira Nicole Morales. Mallory Noel Moren. Vincent Harrison Moser. Coleman Burke Motset. Gabe Muller. Addison Reese Murphy. Spencer Jackson Morell. Malia Myers. Ryan Clay Myers. Daria Miranovich. Carl Lawrence Knockman. Raya Yonti Nana. Albert Augustus Natalina V. Claire Michelle Naraki. Carter J. Nelson. Ella Mabel Nelson. Mary Catherine Nelson. Shanna Therese Newby. Caden Gwen. Abigail Marie Nichols. Colin Thomas Noonan. Tosh Andrew Nye. Caitlin Nicole O'Connor. Caden Michael Oddberg. Dante Alexander Ortiz. Olivia Ann Owings. Adelie Devon Pack. Santiago Palacio Zuleta. Ivan Jiexuan Peng. Isabella Elaine Peretti. Alexander Vance Parker. Andrew Thomas Parrish. Dia Brajesh Patel. Om Mitul Patel. Shri Mehu Patel. Brady William Paul. Asia Marie Payne. Sophie Madeline Pedini. Rebecca Ann Peedy. Sophia May Pfeiffer. Ruben Nicholas Perez. Isabel Grace Perrin. Madeline Marie Pfeiffer. Danielle Marie Femme. Ella Marie Tyler Phillips. Jacoby King Powell. Jernaya Tiaja Powell. Joshua Castorf Perks. Elijah K. Keha. Catherine Marie Quorum. Antoine Young Rains Jr. Anderson Michael Ramler. Taven Anderson Raub. Marjorie Elizabeth Rawlings. Marin Victoria Ream. Andrew Harrison Redford. Benjamin Lyndon Reeves. Elena Lynn Reeves. Nicholas Robert Reichart. Bailey Renee Reed. Jacob Robert Reed. Madison Ann Reed. Elizabeth Ray Reinhardt. Reed Scott Reinhardt. Elizabeth Kayla Reinhardt. Catherine Addison Reinhardt. Charlotte Diana Reining. Joe Nathan Pinka Reynolds. Charles Raymond Rhodes. Madison J. Ringgold. Gabrielle Ayana Robinson. Ramaria Andrea Robinson. Colin Bennett Robeson. Romina Antonella Rodriguez Alarcon. Alexander Joseph Rojakovic. Gordon Alexander Roz. Sienna Quinn Rosenberg. Nicole Sabino Rojas. Casey Paul Royal. Maximilian Wyatt Rudy. Alana Grace Runji. Aaron Russell. Darius Kameli Ruto. Talia Lynn Ruzica. Audrey Meredith Samuel. Jack Harper Sauls. John Michael Saunders. John Thomas Scaniello. Daniel Carl Schmidt. Jasper Robert Schneider. Brendan Caleb Seiferheld. Grace Catherine Sr. Nico Alexander Sensenig. Jacob Alexander Sirio. Serene Waji Shalati. Tyler David Shamlin. Alex Christopher Shelton. Megan Marie Shibley. Colleen Leahy Schutz. Cooper Jack Schutz. Saki Hafiz Siddiqui. Eric Vieira Pimento Silveira. Nicholas William Sims. Toby Slack. Gabriel Duncan Smith. Tyler Kenneth Sneed. Nathaniel Scott's son. Jack Sorensen. Chrissy Lynn Sotilli. Bryson Nash Sowers. Deshaun Mackay Stark. Evelyn Leah Stembridge. Ella Rose Stevens. Samuel David Stevens. Jason Anthony Stewart. Blake Vincent Stotler. Chris Dayon Sung. Cameron Walter Swaney. Ari Taggart. Wiley Tabit Tate. Grayson Nicole Talmadge. Lane Thomas Tate. Benton Dale Tatum. Sydney Isabella Teon. Jacob Andrew Tanecki. Leica Saromani Thorne. Christian Luke Tisworth. Berkeley Ryan Touchstone. Colin Parker Trebor. Sydney Rose Trexler. Reagan Sergio Tromba. Alexandra Bland Tolley. Olivia Merritt Turner. Alan Turner. Mohammed Aziz Morsokov. Caleb Gideon Christopher Underwood. Mackenzie Kaylee Underwood. Samuel Underwood. Carlos Valdez Suarez. Sergine Van Tassel. Lucas Robert Van Devoren. Emily Grace Vaughn. Bradley Martin Vick. Connor Stephen Vick. Kyra Aliana Villarreal. Ethan Scott Vincent. Ava Marie Vozar. Gregory Richard Wade. Isabel Amara Watford. Madeline Hope Wallace. Abigail Marie Ward. Jackson Bradford Ward. Soraya Kalila Washington. Avani Nevea Watson. Baxter Matthew Wineland. Grace Elizabeth Weinstein. Lennon James Richard Weiss. Kaya Mandela Werfelman. Jeremiah Amari West. Holden Kobe White. Jordan Natalie White. Ethan Whiteley. Brody William Whittington. Emily Rain Wiest. Karaya Denise White. Caroline Elizabeth Williams. Drennan Parker Williams. Leah Michelle Williams. Nathaniel John Williams. Noah Brady Williams. Noah Edward Williams. Tanash Naray Williams. Braden Waverly Williamson. Charlotte Maria Wilson. Caden Riley Wilmuth. Gabriella Danielle Winslow. Ethan Wayne Woodward. Griffin Owen Woodyard. Christopher. Kalaisha Renee Wyatt. Riley Hope Yates. Lance Daniel Cujo Yeboah. Annalise Grace Young. Caitlin Abigail Sabrowski. Victoria Christine Sabrowski. And Gabriel John Sevnick.
You know, they say every year, Midlow, you're crazy doing live diplomas, it won't work. And I said, it's Midlow, man. We'll make this work. We'll have live diplomas, and when we recess out, you go right to find your family and grab that meal. With the class of 2025, please stand. Before I close the commencement exercise for today, one last reminder to our seniors, please remain at your seat until it's time to recess out. Dr. Murray, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the School Board of Chesterfield County, I hereby certify that all those members of the Midlothian High School class of 2025 present here have fulfilled each requirement for graduation and therefore are awarded a Midlothian High School diploma or certificate. Students, you may now move your tassels from the right side of your cap to the left, signifying you are Midlothian High School graduates. Congratulations. I now declare the commencement exercise of Midlothian High School to be adjourned. Good luck and best wishes, class of 2025.